Sahih al-Bukhari 178. Narrated Ali. I used to get emotional urethral discharges frequently and felt shy to ask Allah's Messenger about it. So I requested al-Miqdad bin al-Aswad to ask the Prophet about it. Al-Miqdad asked him and he replied, one has to perform ablution after it. Sahih al-Bukhari 179. Narrated Zayd bin Khalid. I asked Uthman bin Affan about a person who engaged in intercourse but did no discharge. Uthman replied, he should perform ablution like the one for an ordinary prayer, but he must wash his penis. Uthman added, I heard it from Allah's Messenger. I asked Ali Aziz Zubair, Talha and Ubay bin Kabi about it and they too gave the same reply. This order was cancelled later on and taking a bath became necessary for such cases. Sahih al-Bukhari 180. Narrated Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Allah's Messenger sent for an Ansari man who came with water dropping from his head. The Prophet said, perhaps we have forced you to hurry up, haven't we? The Ansari replied, yes. Allah's Messenger further said, if you are forced to hurry up during intercourse, or you do not discharge, then ablution is due on you. This order was cancelled later on, i.e. one has to take a bath. Sahih al-Bukhari 181. Narrated Usama bin Zaid. When Allah's Messenger departed from Arafat, he turned towards a mountain pass where he answered the call of nature. After he had finished, I poured water and he performed ablution, and then I said to him, O Allah's Messenger, will you offer the prayer? He replied, the Musalla, place of the prayer, is ahead of you, in Al-Muzdalifah. Sahih al-Bukhari 182. Narrated Al-Mughira bin Shubi'ah. I was in the company of Allah's Messenger on one of the journeys and he went out to answer the call of nature, and after he finished, I poured water and he performed ablution. He washed his face, forearms, and passed his wet hand over his head and over the two cuff socks made from thick fabric or leather. Sahih al-Bukhari 183. Narrated Abdullah bin Abbas. That he stayed overnight in the house of Maymunah, the wife of the Prophet, his aunt. He added, I lay on the bed, cushioned transversely, while Allah's Messenger and his wife lay in the lengthwise direction of the cushion. Allah's Messenger slept till the middle of the night, either a bit before or a bit after it, and then woke up, rubbing the traces of sleep off his face with his hands. He then recited the last 10 verses of Surah Al-Imran, got up and went to a hanging waterskin. He then performed the ablution from it, and it was a perfect ablution, and then stood up to offer the prayer. I, too, got up and did as the Prophet had done. Then I went and stood by his side. He placed his right hand on my head and caught my right ear and twisted it. He prayed 2 rakat, then 2 rakat and 2 rakat and then 2 rakat and then 2 rakat and then 2 rakat, separately 6 times, and finally 1 rakat, the witr. Then he lay down again in the bed till the muaddin came to him, whereupon the Prophet got up, offered a 2 light rakat prayer and went out and led the far prayer. Sahih al-Bukhari 184. Narrated Asma bint Abu Bakr. I came to Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, during the solar eclipse. The people were standing and offering the prayer, and she was also praying. I asked her, what is wrong with the people? She beckoned with her hand towards the sky and said, Subhanallah. I asked her, is there a sign? She pointed out, yes. So I, too, stood for the prayer till I fell unconscious, and later on I poured water on my head. After the prayer, Allah's Messenger praised and glorified Allah and said, just now I have seen something which I never saw before at this place of mine, including paradise and hell. I have been inspired, and have understood, that you will be put to trials in your graves, and these trials will be like the trials of Ad-Dajjal, or nearly like it. The sub-narrator is not sure of what Asma said. Angels will come to every one of you and ask, what do you know about this man? A believer will reply, he is Muhammad, Allah's Messenger, and he came to us with self-evident truth and guidance. So we accepted his teaching, believed and followed him. Then the angels will say to him to sleep in peace, as they have come to know that he was a believer. On the other hand, a hypocrite or a doubtful person will reply, I do not know, but heard the people saying something, and so I said the same. There are few teachings for us in the hadith above. One, that when the solar eclipse occurs we are to pray to Allah Almighty, as this is one of the signs of Eclispe, so the best thing for us to do in these situations is to perform ablution and pray to Allah Almighty. And the trials of Ad-Dajjal will be great and quite tough for the believers, so the prayers we have done and all we can do is ask Allah Almighty to keep us in His protection. Also, there are 3 questions which will be asked by the angels while we will be in our graves, and the answer to the question of who is he, indication to our dear Prophet. And the reply would be, he is Muhammad, Allah's messenger, and he came to us with self-evident truth and guidance. Yes, in our life we do know that he is our Prophet, but how can we prove it to the angels that we know who is he? It is by just studying about his life and follow on what he has forwarded to us from Allah Almighty. So we should try our best to follow in his footsteps. May Allah guide us to right path and hope he saves us from the trials of graves.